Mark out Mania. Mark out Mania. It's the 10th episode and we're marking out.
Yeah.
Mark out Mania.
The 10th episode. Woo! Look at that.
Hola, amigos. It's the 10th episode of Mark out Mania.
Nice. Zeus, Pedro, how you guys doing today? How's everybody doing out there? What's going on, people?
Good, buddy.
Everything's good? Everything's good?
Yeah, man.
Good.
Lots to talk about today. An amazing Lucha Underground. You know, a sacrifice was had, and even some sleeves was going on. The baddest bitch was in the building. A trios meltdown. You know, there was some fan in the stands, had a chair. You know, and then, of course, last but not least, you know, it was a killer who turned into a white rabbit who's now leading a tribe. An amazing episode of Lucha to get to today, guys. Amazing.
An amazing episode that killed me.
Really excited, man. It was a great episode.
I think it was the best one to date.
It's hard to argue with that.
I think it was the best one to date. Because I actually think after a slow start, LU is hitting its stride right now. Everything's clicking on all cylinders. You have Papa Cueto. As soon as this thing starts, he comes out. I know, you know, he changes the whole scenario of the trios match, everything. You know, even with the sacrifice, it was awesome.
And I gotta tell you, you know, I love my wife, you know, but you know, we got a garage full of Modelo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got all this great sort of bad stuff, and she says she wants chilada. So thankfully, the great makers of Modelo, they make a chilada that she likes. So you know, I'm like, of course, you know, we got 4.5 pallets left.
Okay, Zeus, I'm on my way. If I don't get there soon enough, I'll text Aerostar and he'll bleak me there. Okay, it's all good.
That's what we need.
I'll come with two.
You there like at an earlier point in time too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can catch me when I still had 6 pallets.
It would be down to 3 if I was there. Let me tell you, because I'm a thirsty bastard. All right, Zeus. So, what did you think of LU?
Oh, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, beginning to end, and geez, I mean, it just you know, once again, you know, you're able to pack in three hours worth of stuff. You know, in an hour.
Yeah. Even the editing has improved a lot.
Yeah, and we knew things would, you know, personnel changed in the direction it, you know, would come back around, and it did. And I mean, God, you know, where do you start? I mean, it's just you know, I'm always so just like psyched up, you know, but like this week was really hot this week, and getting in the back of my non-air conditioned truck to pull out all these heavy deliveries, it really wiped me out. I had a hell of a week. That's part of the reason that that's the reason that you know, I wasn't able to draw anything for this week's thumbnail and
hey man, I hear you. Trust me, I know, but life gets in the way, brother. Life gets in the way.
Yeah, man.
But what, Pedro? Your thoughts? Opening thoughts here?
Oh my God! First off, the Lucha Underground, they love us and they hate us at the same time because do you remember last season in season 3 with Cortez Castro / Ricky Reyes? That's
not his real name. He's a police officer, remember?
Yeah. Like him surviving the season, we were like, yes, like the last of the crew is going to still survive somehow.
Yes.
And then he's gone. They've killed him. I'm like,
yes, that was very sad.
And then, like, I thought that was sad, and then I didn't know it could get worse by the end vignette, which is maybe the most amazing vignette they've ever done. I have to say, like, from in terms of the set design, the whole concept behind it, even the musical score, the costumes they're wearing, like
it rivaled the Cobra Moon, because it actually rivaled the Reptile Tribe vignette. You know, the whole thing at the end, because it rivaled that. I mean, the entire atmosphere of that vignette was amazing. But Bye Bye Cortez, that was brutal, and the weakest cane shot I've ever seen in my life. Hello.
Oh my god! But yeah, they got rid of Masquerita.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was okay.
And you know that also, like, some people were saying, you know, it's like, well, he was not the little, you know, little white rabbit dude. You know, he wasn't the little black rabbit. Wasn't the same guy in a different outfit.
No, I think it was somebody different. But who knows? I mean, who actually knows? Yeah. But I'm sure it's all going to unfold great. You know, I have to give props to the actual King of Sleaze, Joey Ryden, and Evilise. They put on a hell of a match.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That match was awesome because they work so well together, both of them. They really do. They really. I could have sworn for about 10 seconds he was about to do the dick flip. I was like, oh, he's going to do it on TV. They're going to show it. But, you know, I would have marked out hard for that.
Oh, my God.
But,
see, I don't care for that. I think overall,
really?
I think he's good enough to where he didn't need that.
Well, no, he doesn't need it, but that's his FU to Cornette, and, you know, like everybody says that he's ruining the business, you know?
Well, I know, and it's like, you know, I don't begrudge him the success that it's brought him and everything, but it's just not like it's cringy to me.
I hear you, Zeus. I hear you, brother. And who am I to argue with the God of Thunder? You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing with the penis-based offense, okay, the thing with it is it's stretching wrestling logic, which is already like such a stretch thing. It's stretching.
There's a vagina plex now. Right. There's a whole breast plex. All kinds of stuff is starting to emerge out of it. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, you're like, eh.
Most wrestling logic is going to revolve around some magic way of a foreign object or something coming into play.
Like, you always have to suspend disbelief a little bit, you know.
The Iron Sheik wrapping his boots and somehow which makes no sense, right? Like, how is that?
That actually is one of the greatest gimmicks ever.
Of course,
even loading his boots.
Think about the Sergeant Slaughter Iron Sheik boot camp match where the Iron Sheik is hitting the boot against the ring post. You're like, he's super loading it up. It makes no sense, right?
Right.
But in your mind, you're like, he's super loading it up. So
and all of us marked out for it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, now here's the thing, though. Here was the way that me and my friends talked about that. Is that the sole of the boot was hollow, because you could see, you know, these guys had, you know, a lot of them had thick soles.
Right.
And so what you were actually doing when you're loading this boot is you were actually dropping it from a different part of from the side of the boot down into the heel or toward the toe. So when you would do a super kick or a big stomp, then that's what did it. And the reason that you had to load the boot is because it had to be hidden for when the referee frisks you down.
Look at that, Zeus breaking it down.
That's how we see that. We went in and we rationalized everything back in the 70s.
Okay. Now
I hear that.
See, now that makes sense. Someone having a forearm that knocked people out and them saying, oh, they had a metal rod put in their arm. This makes sense.
I am Mike Sharp. There you go.
Right. Now we're talking about
Joey Ryan
puts your hand on his penis and his penis grabs you.
Well,
yes,
it was
that
supposed to
doesn't
be.
make
It,
no.
it was supposed to be a start off to a FU to Cornette and everybody else, and you know it grew from there, and he just went with it. He just went with it. But he does make it work, and yes, you know what? He doesn't need it, but every once in a while, you know, it's actually a cool thing to see. But again, him and Ivelisse put on a hell of a match. Hell of a match.
Oh yeah, yeah. That and you know the you know one of the things is you got to think that. All right, so like Joey Ryan has got to be thinking it's like, oh my god, she just beat Jeremiah Crane to death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, he had to kind of be thinking, you know, it's like, you know, I hope she ain't got no hammer. You know, I'm glad this ain't Aztec warfare because, you know, if I handcuff myself to the fencing or the railing and she comes along with a hammer, she's going to kill me.
I'm just waiting for somebody to poison his lollipop.
Oh my
Boy,
god.
I'm waiting on that too.
You know?
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean, he released could eat. I mean, I don't know if she's going to come out of the ring next with a hammer, this, that, and the third. But, you know, I actually can't get enough of that sunset power bomb. That's just hot. It's hot.
Yeah, that whole
That's hot.
sequence was real smooth where she did the kick where she like sort of kicked up from behind and kicked the back.
And Joey Ryan kicked the shit out of her too, and she sold it
yeah.
beautifully, man. It was perfectly timed. That was perfectly timed. And the editing for that match was perfect.
There was one part where he punched her, and you know, of course, it's a worked punch, but you almost swore he like legit just punched her. Like,
yeah,
that's
he was
how
stiff.
well they did it. Like,
yeah, they work amazing together.
Yeah, they did a great job.
And then we had the trios meltdown.
Yeah.
I thought that match started a little bit slow. It did. It was like who wanted to go first and who wanted to pop first and who wanted to make a move first. But as soon as it started going, as it got going quickly. I mean, they started going at it, especially with the forearms. Oh my god, that was brutal.
Yeah, they're. I mean, all three of those guys are really just amazing. But you know, it's kind of a interesting. It's kind of a signature Dario move to have the trio champions against each other.
Dario is the son of Papa Cueto.
Right. Who's also apparently been having some intestinal problems. As we see him grip his lower abdomen area.
Yeah. There's something going on there with Papa Cueto.
So,
I wonder what could it be.
but it's you know, once again, I like trios matches. So I like to see my trios champions fighting other trios.
I thought it was a pretty good match. You know, I like the slow build, the heel turn for Killshot. It's cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool how they're doing it. You know, I'm just waiting for Dante Fox to come out of nowhere and beat the shit out of everybody. You know.
Oh my god.
You know, I should be trios champ, and just, you know, he just like, you know, he just absolutely goes nuts at everyone. So,
yeah, that was, you know, that's interesting. We'll see where it goes. They always have we always end up with a good payoff.
Oh, yep. And flashback to the match with Joy Ryan, quickly.
Yes.
Actually, how about that wink by Melissa? After she does the introduction to Joy Ryan, you know, there was a little wink right there. I was like, "Ooh, hello."
Oh, I missed that.
I missed that.
Yeah. After Phoenix dies, and boom. Okay, next. I was like, Melissa, what are you doing? You know, she's already out and about. No, trust me. I watched it again last night. I was like, check that out. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
We have a little play in the temple.
Then we had Mil Muertes and Cage.
That was heavy, hard hitting action, and they both were flying around the ring. Actually, pretty good.
Yeah, they're both of those guys do moves that guys that are that big and that heavy usually don't do.
I thought the crowd was popping for that match.
Oh yeah.
I thought the crowd completely lost their mind for that match. I was like, "There's the LU crowd. They're the believers." Everybody was going nuts. Everybody was going nuts for that match. It was awesome. It was awesome. And
yeah, the crowd's definitely better now than it was.
Well, I was hearing stories. I was hearing stories where, like the crowd was tired after 5 hours and stuff like that. I mean, but everybody was popping for this match. Everybody was going nuts. Even Mil Machetes, he was popping too. I saw him.
Yeah, and and then there was there was a guy impersonating Lucha in the crowd.
Yeah.
I know. He was like, "Hey, is that Lucha? Who's that?" And all of a sudden, it was the champ swinging the chair. He was knocking people out the way. He even had a wristband on. I was like, "Look at this guy." That was kind of hot.
And then he cuts a great promo. It doesn't matter that it's in Spanish. It's he really owns that, man.
He does. He does. He does.
It's Penta has so much charisma and delivery. Like, so his promos are always awesome.
And he's so believable as LU champion too. It's like I don't want him ever to lose the strap. I don't.
I'm with you, James.
I'm not Pedro level Penta right now, but I don't want him to lose the strap. Not for a while.
I don't either.
But I would like to see the Mac actually get a run as a Gift of the Gods champion. I would. Yeah, I think the Mac needs a solo title because he is so underrated. I love the Mac. He's amazing.
He is. He's so great. He's super nice. Another one of them. Just I say this all the time. He's another one of the guys. It doesn't look like he should do what he can do.
No.
I mean, he's got charisma. He's got everything. I mean, he's just all around great fucking dude.
I would love to see him as a Gift of the Gods champion. I would give him a run with that, But
I tell you something else that I've always felt about the Gift of the Gods title. I always thought you should have to defend it like 2 or 3 times before you get a shot. Instead of it being a guaranteed.
I'm on board with that.
You should have to defend it 3 times.
Do you hear that, Papa Cueto? Do you hear that, Papa Cueto? Defend the title 3 times before somebody gets a shot at Penta. What's going on over here?
I mean, just because you win that doesn't mean you're worthy. I mean, it helps. It helps. Tie up some loose ends at times. But
I would like him. Has had the strap for a while. He's great. He's got charisma. I would say in ring is second to none. But I mean, is it possible? Is it even possible for like anyone to break the arm of a machine? Can that actually happen? I don't know.
We'll find out next week.
Yeah, exactly.
On the Gift of the Gods championship, I think it's only changed hands like in terms of a legit title change twice, right? Well,
I think so.
Cuerno won it from Phoenix, then Phoenix won it back, right?
Right.
And then
after that,
Mundo beat Sexy Star for it, right?
I believe so.
So yeah, those are the only like title changes, right? Besides the sort of tournament setup or whatever.
Well, I mean, if they want to give Ivelisse a run with it too, I'm cool with that as well. But I'd love to see Cuerno. So I mean, I'm all over the place. I mean, I love Cuerno. I love Ivelisse. I love the Mac to get it. Who knows? But I know it's going to be good. I know the storylines are going to be good. I know the whole Gift of the Gods run is going to be good. So just surprise us, Papa Cueto, and just
I like how they'll do like an entire episode is like that, for the Gift of the Gods title.
Yeah,
when they have like the 6 to survive and the 7, 7 up, that whole, everybody battling out. It usually takes up a whole episode, and that the first time I saw them do that, I guess it was that Six to Survive, and that was just really just fantastic.
Yeah, I think Lucha Underground's finally hitting a stride. After a little bit of fumbling around the first two episodes, the editing and like how it was shot and the way it looked, now it's flowing. Everything is flowing really well, and of course, after the big chair shot on Cage, after the big promo, here comes Paul London and the Rabbit Tribe. And I'm sorry, and somebody spoke for the first time?
Yeah, but first and the last time.
Did Salvador actually speak?
Yes.
He actually spoke, and then they went down the rabbit hole, and there he was, the White Rabbit. There he was. It was Mr. Killer. I marked out for that. I can't lie.
Oh yeah, very excited to see Killer Cross finally.
I actually yelled at my TV. I said, "Oh shit, it's Cross! Finally!" I almost spilled my beer. How dare I?
I just couldn't believe it went where it went. I was like, "What?"
It was, but actually, as you said, Pedro, it was done so well. It was such a quality vignette. It was done really well, man. I mean, the music and the lighting and everything was like perfection. It was done so well.
They have so many great vignettes in the history of Lucha Underground so far, and this just may be the best one in terms of how it was done and everything.
TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. And then he got sprayed with the blood. That was kind of hot. I was liking that. I was like, is that a Robert Rodriguez influence right there?
Or could also be Sam Raimi.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, let me tell you I have some thoughts on the whole Rabbit Tribe thing.
Go ahead, Mr. Zeus.
It's always been much more sinister from the beginning than they let on. But what they've done is they've been able to disguise it with this goofiness, with this silliness, waiting for this time, because we all thought that Paul was the leader. We all thought the Mad Hatter was the leader. But the Mad Hatter wasn't the leader in Alice in Wonderland. In Alice in Wonderland. It was not, it was not him. He was just, forgive my saying, he was a flunky.
Right.
He was an important. He was an important flunky.
Right. But he was a flunky nonetheless. Right.
Right. He wasn't the man, and we found out who the man was. And that's the White Rabbit, and that's Killer Cross. And like I said, it's this whole thing where you've got these two minds, like Kevin Cross and Paul London have, very unconventional, very original thinking. These guys are not wired like most people are.
No.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. And so you get this great, this great mesh of two real, genius type people and their way of thinking combined with this whole tribe. It just really kind of boggles the mind. I think, as far as the possibilities, and like I said, definitely sinister intentions.
I actually like the point that you made, how it disguised itself in the goofiness and like all the funniness, and then boom, all of a sudden it gets real sinister real fast.
Oh yeah.
And even though it's a small sample size, but it was played perfectly by Cross. He played it perfectly.
You know, talking about the sinister side, it just popped in my head. Is this why he's in the all black for this segment? Is it like a little like foresight or whatever that things are about to get dark, that Paul London's in all black?
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if this is going to wake up Paul London, and if he's going to go on a run and beat the shit out of everybody. Who knows? But I think that this is one of the most intriguing storylines in LU right now. The whole chapter of the Rabbit Tribe, and now the White Rabbit. I think it's going to go all over the place. I'm going to love it. It's going to be a great storyline. I can't wait. I can't wait. More and more and more. I want more of it. I want more of it.
And that was the thing is, when they kind of brought Cross in for some dark matches, what was that, like season 2?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of teasing going on, and then with that season 3 trailer, where you didn't know who these guys were in the Rabbit Tribe.
Right.
A lot of speculation was that Killer Cross was one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Before we could tell who anybody else besides Paul London was.
Right.
So, the fact that we've got, this guy who's finally coming into this whole thing of where he was kind of teased at being, and it was like, oh, well, that's, I'm not really in the Rabbit Tribe. He told me that at WrestleCade 2 years ago.
Right.
And he was like, I'm not in there. And it's like, well, now you are.
Yeah, everything comes back full circle. You see?
Exactly.
I think
that's the slow burn.
That's
and burn right there.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I'm going to hear a lot of detractors because I already started with my brother. All right, so he's a big Impact fan. Okay, he loves Impact to death.
Oh,
why?
God,
I don't know.
wrong with it?
I don't know. He's on crack, my brother. But he was like, like how can you have, here you have Killer Cross, who's a badass on Impact, and then at the same time, he's like the White Rabbit in LU. I'm like, bro. Stop. He's perfect for this. Trust me. I said, no, but he's badass in Impact. I said, trust me, he's going to be badass in Lucha Underground as well. So I just want everybody to give a chance, let it all play out. Trust me, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Kevin Cross, James, did you see Zero's theory in the chat room on Way Too Real this Thursday?
Yes, I did. He was breaking it down.
Zero was breaking all kind of crazy theories, but what about the cartoon handkerchief?
Yeah. Because he said it was animated. I was like, I didn't even see that. I got to go back and watch it again. But yeah, man. I mean, he was breaking down all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff. Man, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. I think hey, it was great, man. I mean, he was breaking down stuff about Cross. He was breaking down stuff about Johnny Ryan. He was breaking down the entire LU episode. It was one big conspiracy theory. It was awesome. It was awesome. I love Zero. He's cool.
All right, so are we closing down the Lucha Underground?
Yes, I just want to give a quick shout out to the MNM podcast again. I was listening to the 100th episode again. It was awesome again, And then of course I had to give a shout out to the Way Too Real peeps and the Way Too Real. And how about just Melissa?
Oh yeah,
actually making her debut on Way Too Real. Awesome.
Yeah, she was fantastic
on the Way Too Real.
She's
awesome job.
Very
awesome job. She was great. Awesome, man. Love it.
And we, big thanks to the shout outs from Dante and everybody there for us as well. So we definitely appreciate you guys.
Oh yeah, much love.
Recognizing us and listening and everything. So
all part of Lucha fan.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you said. It's, you can't beat the Lucha weekend. The Lucha party with Way Too Real. the MMM podcast, and then traveling down memory lane with us. So.
Yeah, exactly. Having a few Modelo's in the morning. Hey, come on. It's called Breakfast of Champions for a reason.
Sip a Modelo for Papa Cueto, El Jefe, and the wonderful job he does.
As a matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Hey, Papa Cueto. That was for you. All right, so we're all done with LU. Great episode. Now, guys, I know all of us have been watching wrestling, sports entertainment, or God knows what else you want to call it, for a bunch of years, because all of us are old. A bunch of years. I've seen so many crappy, shitty gimmicks that just make me turn my head. Now, it's easy to go back to the WWF old school days and the cartoon area, you had Duke the Dumpster Josie, Mantar, Avatar, Al Snow, because he actually wore a mask after he got into the ring. Which was brutal, So, any of you guys have any bad gimmicks that stuck out for you guys?
Tom Zink was a bad gimmick. God rest his soul, but that guy was the biggest. Z-Man. He's the biggest waste of $1 million body, great smile, looked like Steve Perry from Journey.
Oh my God, that's true.
Okay, I don't know.
He had a great drop kick. He had a great drop kick, though.
He had a drop kick.
He did. He had a drop kick.
But the Battle of the Beaks, him and Ric Flair, they had about the same, profile. If they fell straight on their face, they would strike oil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
But, oh my God.
And
brutal.
And head right up his own ass. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is not shit I would have been glad to say this to him in person while he was still alive. But
damn.
Oh yeah.
So the thunder's coming down, people. The thunder's coming down.
So I got a picture. It's not just me. Look, Greensboro hated it. Okay, hated Tom Zink, except for a few of the teeny bopper girls. Yeah. I got a picture of a dude flipping him off as he's coming to the ring.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And it was and that night was,
I flipped off Tom Zink. I flipped off Tom Zink. New T-shirt. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so they were fighting the Midnight Express.
Oh yeah.
Pillman and Zink were fighting the Midnight Express, and people were behind the Midnights. And then there was another night where back the WCW titles, and they were just those ugly little thin plated things that the Ring of Honor plates are based on those now. But
right.
But Dustin Rhodes, Big Josh, and Tom Zink won the WCW six-man titles. And they were defending the belts against, I think it was against Ricky Morton and Terry Taylor, and it's like the York Foundation gimmick.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Alexander York, yeah.
They're I'm second or third row, and there's this other dude that's in front of me. He's giving Tom Zink unholy pile of shit. He's just letting him have it. We're calling him Zero Man. Big Zero. We're just giving him shit. He's just, and him and Dustin are outside the ring, and while the other guys in the ring, and they're going, just watching what's going on, and we're just lighting him up for five straight minutes.
Nice.
And finally, he turns around. He's like, "Who asked you, buddy? Fuck you guys!" And then he taps Dustin on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey, man, you see those two guys down there? We're going to kick their ass after the show." And Dustin just looked at him like, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, now that's funny. When Dustin Rhodes does and he thinks you're an idiot, fucking total chode.
You probably
like I
said,
said, you know,
who booked this shit? I got a tag team with this guy? Brutal.
yeah. You know, and like I said, you know, his finisher was that missile drop kick, which, you know, was meh.
Zeus, you loved it. Don't lie.
No, I'm not lying. So moving on, somebody else take me out of there before I keep on going on. Before I dig him up and kick his ass.
That's hot. That's hot. Zeus is gonna beat up Tom Zink, the Z man.
I think I know a gimmick that's worse than Tom Zink though.
All right, Pedro, go ahead.
And I've seen it done twice, 2 different ways, but it's basically the special needs disability gimmick.
Eugene?
Eugene and Norman from WCW.
Norman the Lunatic.
Yeah, Norman the Lunatic, and then Eugene.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That was horrible.
It was very
Wasn't that
horrible.
Nick Dismore? That was Nick Dismore,
Yes.
right? Yeah. He was actually a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah.
He was actually a pretty good wrestler.
And Norman had been one of the Sing guys in Stampede.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Actually, him and Bob Maloney, right?
I didn't get a lot of that. I just know that's where he came from.
Right. Okay. Because I knew Balls Mahoney was a Sing.
What wasn't Earthquake a Sing at one point? Wasn't he like?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. It's
no,
probably. I don't
Earthquake.
Know. Okay, I think it's just the way he looked.
Yeah.
He looked like one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a bad gimmick. You know, that's a horrible gimmick. You know, I can't see anybody trying to do that now. You know,
no, you couldn't.
You know, I mean, there's been a plethora of shitty gimmicks. I mean, I can go back to Mantar, which was ridiculous. You know, that's. I mean, you got the Red Rooster, which absolutely sucked. I mean,
oh yeah. Here's something like a kind of just a callback to Norman. I saw Norman wrestle live, and he was wrestling Zan Panzer.
Oh my
god!
Yeah, and I think that was Tim Horner.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh my god!
And it was so funny because you know it's this ugly hot pink, you know, outfit and mask, and he the introduction Mike, and he says I'm gonna hurry up and kick your butt because you gotta give her back for our date later. Being his sister's underwear.
Oh, that's horrible. Tim Horner, poor that guy. I didn't. You know what? Here's another gimmick where I thought it was a ripoff of the Undertaker, and it was done by WWF. Remember when Barry Windham was the Widowmaker?
Oh,
that was such a shitty gimmick. He had the same hat as the Undertaker. He had the actual same.
I think the Widowmaker gimmick was actually before the Undertaker.
No, no. I don't think so. Yeah? Yeah, it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Widowmaker was, yeah.
I thought it was around the same time.
Widowmaker was early 1989.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was... Because all I kept saying was, that's fucking Barry Windham. You know? Right. That's Barry Windham. That's, you know... I don't want to see him in a hat and a long coat like that. It was horrible.
Right. Yeah. I mean, especially since he had held the tag team titles.
Exactly. I was like, what? I mean, come on.
And it's like we know who he is. Everyone knows who he is.
How about Rikishi as a Sultan?
Manager was Brad Anderson.
Oh, Brad Anderson? Okay. I thought Tim Horner. Tim Horner anyway.
He was Gene Anderson's son.
Yeah. I you know,
but yeah, the whole Widowmaker thing, you know, that was really stupid. It was kind of a, you know, they were kind of play up the cowboy thing, but it's like we all know who this dude is, man. You know, don't try to, you know. It's
they did the new Blackjacks on top of that, right? Did they do new Blackjacks after that?
Not right after that, but not. Well, that was when he went back in like the mid '90s with that NWA invasion.
Yeah, right. That was another one.
But like Barry kept wearing when he went back to WCW and later like in like 1990 when he went back, he was still wearing the Widowmaker boots.
That was brutal. That's brutal. And then I remember Nord the Barbarian. Oh my God! Come on.
The Berserker, yeah.
Yeah, the Berserker.
John
Hello,
Nord.
John Nord. I mean, you're not Bruiser Brody. Stop. Okay, stop.
Huff.
Al Snow as Avatar. I mean, come on, man. He's a guy who wore a mask after he got in the ring. He put the mask on after he got in the ring. I mean, who thought of this crap? That was brutal.
That was really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible gimmicks, and then bad storylines like yeah, Flair inside the insane asylum acting stupid. I mean, that was horrible. I mean, it's just some bad stuff.
Too is like how some people like how WWF especially would take the in WCW and just expound the Hall. They turned him into Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
And he was essentially he'd already started that character. Like today, in the legal system of today, you could probably make an argument that was, you could have put a cease and desist on,
right?
Because he was doing the toothpick, he was doing the accent, he was, the black hair, Diamond Death, Diamond Death Drop,
mm-hmm.
And then they just changed that to the Razor's Edge.
Yep.
But he was still basically the same guy all the way around that was created.
Yeah,
like
he
with
was a diamond stud. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And same thing. Diamond Dallas Page should get some credit for this too, because he was the one that was kind of palling around with them and helping them. And he turned Oz, which was dumber than monkey shit. He turned him into Vinny Vegas.
Yeah, thank God.
And Vinny Vegas wasn't a huge stretch into Diesel.
No, it's not. It's not.
I mean, Diesel didn't have any character.
No.
Until he started kind of being himself, that's when he, on board with it. But, first.
Yeah, but even then, Nash is bland. To me, Nash has always been bland,
But, speaking about Diesel, there's a man who played fake Diesel who has been like a magnet for bad gimmicks.
That's nice, Pedro. Hell yeah. He was the Unabomb. He was Isaac Yankem. He was God knows who else he was. Kane.
A lot. Yeah.
Kane.
Red Jacobs.
Okay.
He's had some pretty bad gimmicks, man. He's had some. I didn't understand the whole thing with Isaac Yankem in the USWA, and then he would switch his gimmicks. The USWA he was the Unabomb, and then boom, on the weekend house shows he was Isaac Yankem, and it was brutal. Not bad gimmicks. Horrible.
We were talking about Kane earlier this week, privately, the three of us.
Yeah.
And, remember, at first I was like, "Oh, the gimmick wasn't so bad at first," and then as I was thinking through everything the Kane gimmick has gone through, I was like, "Oh man, it's been pretty brutally bad."
I mean, the problem with Kane is after you build him up like that, and he starts to lose, it becomes it's like okay, I think the times.
Oh yeah, I mean he was just and plus he was like when you keep on lying and you keep on telling people they are what they're not.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been doing the tombstones on bigger dudes.
Right.
That's something that the advent of the finisher, it's like, well, you're like, you're doing moves that, work great on people your size or smaller, but if you're not really truly strong enough to pull this off on somebody bigger, You need something else.
You can't be doing a tombstone on a big show. No, stop it.
Right.
You know?
And then, and the same thing is like when you look at guys like, and I talk about Barry Windham a lot because I love him. But when you look at how good he was in, like 87, 88, 89, and he was using the lariat, and his lariat was freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He was using the flying lariat. He was using the superplex, and he was using the claw. So you're talking about moves that he could do on guys that were different sizes.
So like every time I hear the word the claw, yeah.
I mean, he used the claw and the lariat more on him than he did, the superplex.
He adapted to who he was wrestling in the ring.
And that was back then when superplex was a legit finisher.
Right. Yeah. It depends on the person, depends on the wrestler. Okay, like even back in the old school ECW days, I hated the Tasmaniac gimmick.
Yeah, that was.
I hated that singlet with the stupid fur on it. His hair was all over the place, wrestling barefoot, and then he would jump and stomp in the ring.
Face paint.
Yeah, that's right. That was disgusting. I was like, what kind of shit is this? And then he's
thank God for Ricky Steamboat.
Yep, and then he gets repackaged and comes back as the kick-ass machine. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. So everybody's gone through but there's been some like horrible stuff like I can't. And then the bad gimmicks would work. Like like
Fozmaker in the chat reminds us of the great gobbledygook.
Yeah, gracias flus for the gobbledygook.
And I think Santa Claus was another really terrible one too.
Wasn't gobbledygook Armando Guerrero?
Yeah,
right.
One of the Guerreros, one of them.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Balls Mahoney is Santa Claus.
Yeah, that was tough. But even like a bad gimmick, like I never thought the Blue Meanie would work, and yet it worked, and yet it really worked. Everybody loved Brian Heffron.
He owned it,
right?
He owned it, and he's like, I'm gonna invest in this character, and
it was a shitty gimmick, and it worked.
The best, yeah. Because, I always felt that was the difference between Too Cool and 3 Count.
3 Count.
Right?
Oh, please. Because
no. I mean, it was a stupid, terrible gimmick, but they were over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were.
3 Count was not. Because they didn't become those characters.
Yeah.
And they didn't let it all hang out, and they held things back, and where they should have had fun with it and lived it and loved it, they all just look like 3 guys who are, it's like, oh God, I've got to go do this now.
Was Jimmy Yang in 3 Count?
Yeah,
Shannon Moore and Green Lantern wannabe.
Yeah.
Shane
Helms. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shane Helms is somebody else. I forgot who was the third one.
I'm looking it up right now. That's the thing. We got the greatest source of information on the planet. Shane Helms, Shannon Moore, and Evan Courageous.
Oh,
Evan Courageous. Yes. He actually wore dreads, didn't he? Or no?
I believe so. Yeah. Yep.
He did it.
He had that little love interest with Medusa.
Yeah. Oh my God, Evan Courageous, a wasted talent. Look at that, brutal.
Well,
and Tank Abbott was their manager.
Oh my God, Tank Abbott in WCW.
Tank Abbott was another horrible. That whole thing was a mess. Okay.
Yeah, he was a terrible wrestler. Everybody was like, "Hey, former UFC champion, it's like a Don Fryer or Dan Severn."
Yeah.
No, this is a guy that just punches people in the face.
I thought Mr. Ass. I thought that was a horrible gimmick. I said, here's some guy he's just sticking out his ass and calling himself Mr. Ass. I'm like, what next? But it got over. It got over.
Do Do you remember his theme song with the lyrics like "I like to lick him, I like to"?
Oh my God! Oh, please, Pedro. I had enough Modelo yet for that. Okay.
Like we didn't have enough Val Venus in our lives.
Oh, Val Venus was a great gimmick. I loved it. It got over. It got over a lot.
Yeah, because he was Rick Rude 2.0.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
He was the sleazy Rick Rude.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have Rick Rude charisma.
Right.
I just hated that whole thing with also with Sid Vicious, and then boom, he became Sid Justice. I'm like, come on, stop that bullshit. You know, as a face, I'm Justice. As a heel, I'm Vicious. Oh, stop. Come on. You know, that was ridiculous.
Just, yeah.
Blues just brought up Stan Stasiak as Meat.
Oh, Meat, yeah, Flues, yeah. Oh my God, I remember that. That was another one. Oh, Flues, that was horrible. Meat. Did he get fired from WWE? Yeah, right.
The thing I remember most about him was the time that I can't remember who it was. Someone gave him like supposedly Viagra for the angle, and then he goes out to wrestle the Big Boss Man. And he has like an erection, and the Big Boss man's all giving him this weird look, and it's like stepping on it, and he's like, and all this kind of stuff. Do y'all remember that?
Book this shit. Look at this. You see what I'm saying? Like, you get, all these people get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. To write. All you got to do by shit like that. Oh my God. Yeah. All we need is Zero, Flus, and a few other people. Come on, let's go. You know, I mean, because this is horrible. Who books shit like this? Well,
I mean, God, I mean, and another part of the Val Venus thing that was so bad and cringy was the way they treated Taka and Kai and Tai. They
treated Taka like shit.
I mean, it's like you had all those guys there, and
I love Taka, Michinoku, Mensch Tao. Yeah, I mean, all those guys. Yeah.
I mean, and you're just making them into this, 1940s stereotype. I was like going, I'm pretty sure Taka never held a samurai sword in his hands in a wrestling area until, WWF, was like, here, you're going to chop off his wang like it's like a salami. Like,
yeah.
God,
Indeed.
And this is the thing. It's
back
like
in WCW too.
When every time everybody, all these, when WWE fans are all like, "Oh no, we want Kenny Omega." It's like, yeah, okay, watch what they do to him.
Yeah,
like, oh, we want 3 count. Okay, I mean, we want 3 count. I say
3 count. Yeah, we want 3 count. It's the WCW invasion all over again. Long live the Alliance.
The Alliance was great without WCW.
I was going to say, Zeus, one of the worst tag teams I've ever seen in WCW had to be Pretty Wonderful. That was a brutal gimmick. I hated Paul Roma.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Orndorff together?
Roma was another guy who was just so average, but... Like,
how the hell did he ended up being a horseman, by the way? Oh, my God. What the hell was that about? That was a bad storyline.
Well, the idea was... the idea that you want somebody who's good fundamentally, good looking, and arrogant, and a prick. Well, that was him.
Yeah.
He just wasn't. You forgot to say, okay, well, he's either able to get, good heat or get over, and he was not able to do.
He couldn't wrestle, Zeus. He couldn't wrestle in the ring. He was beyond stiff. Okay, he didn't know what he was doing. His timing was off. And, all he did was touch himself the entire match. My abs. No, get the hell out of the ring. You suck. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was terrible. I mean, at least Mongo tried. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on the best and worst of the 4 Horsemen.
I think we need to do that soon. Also, I love the Road Warriors. Okay, everybody here loves the Road Warriors, right?
Yes.
You're gonna say Rocco,
but but the Legion of Doom 2000 with Heidenreich and with Sonny as their manager. What kind of bullshit was that?
Well, Heidenreich thing was later, but it was draws.
Yeah,
Puke.
yeah. Puke at first, and then Heidenreich later on, and then Sonny was the manager. I was like, yo, man, you're making a mockery out of this, man.
Dude, in 1998, WWF house show in Greensboro, and it was Legion of Doom, Hawk Animal, and Draws, and it was during that terrible, that terrible storyline where Hawk's supposedly drunk or whatever.
He was wearing the helmet at that time, yeah.
Well, he threw that. Hawk threw his helmet away after that match.
Really?
He was like, I'm not. He's like, I'm not wearing this crap. And Animal's like, no, man, come on. He's like, give it a chance. He's like, no, I don't like this at all. He just threw, apparently, he just gave it to a fan.
Right.
It's like, here, take this. I'm not wearing it ever again. Because he never had it again. They wore those pads a little bit, and then that was it. And but that night in Greensboro, I'm chanting, we want Hawk, and nobody else. No, I mean, they were so dead that, and it was such a WWF crowd, and they just, it was nobody was behind it. It was so sad. I was just like, man, this is just, this is just terrible.
I think the WWF absolutely just destroyed the Road Warriors.
Yeah,
I think they took them and they did nothing with them. It was horrible. It was sad.
They should have left again and stayed gone after they beat the Godwins for the titles again. After they
the Road Warriors job to DOA. I mean, beat badly by DOA. That was a horrible storyline. That was disgusting.
Right, come on, man. That.
It was the Road Warriors, though. I mean, you don't do that to the Road Warriors.
No, and especially had Paul. You had Paul turn on him.
Right, exactly. Come on. Right, exactly. It's just bag shit. That's why I can't watch sports entertainment television anymore. It's horrible. It's horrible.
It is. I feel so much happier not watching it.
I watch NXT though. It's good.
It's good. But I'm so much happier. There's so few people that I actually want to watch on there that I can just watch it later.
I'm so tempted to watch the pay-per-view tomorrow night. I'm actually tempted to see how bad they screwed us up. Because don't call a pay-per-view anything extreme in it and fuck it up. Okay?
Yeah.
If you're going to call something extreme rules, then be extreme. Do it right, for Christ's sake, Please.
I think you're in for disappointment.
I know. I just watched the first Barely Legal, that's all.
I want to give a big shout out to Tracy Myers and the guys at AML Wrestling and WrestleCade.
Okay, AML Wrestling. Yeah. Big shout out.
They're having a big event in 2 weeks here in Greensboro.
Oh, cool.
It's AML versus Impact.
Oh, really, man? What's the card? A good card?
Yeah, it's well, I mean, if you don't know the AML guys, it's a little bit hard, but all the big stars from Impact are coming. Eli Drake and just Ali and Tessa Blanchard and
that sounds like good. That sounds good.
Yeah, I think Moose is coming, and currently one of the guys who's been in Ring of Honor and Impact, Caleb Connolly, he's the current AML champion. So he's I think he's going up against Matt Sydal.
Oh
yeah.
And so it's shaping up to be a really good card. And then
I like Matt Sydal. He's good.
Yeah, and so those are the guys that are behind WrestleCade. And then this year is the 7th WrestleCade.
Cool.
And they have always been bringing the great, anybody outside WWF that can come, they bring, and they bring, all the classic stars. They got, last year they had Demolition, they had Nikita Koloff, Baby Doll, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, Boogie Woogie Man. They had the Boogie Man. They had Mr. Hughes. They had
Mr. Hughes
Rikishi and Brian Christopher. I mean,
I love Brian Christopher, by the way.
Yeah, and they have so many great people. But like, I do the little thing where I call it Luchacade because they end up getting great Lucha Underground and other Lucha stars. Like this coming year, they got Ultimo Dragon coming, Juventud, Marty Elias is coming.
All you had to say was Ultimo Dragon. It was a wrap from there.
Yeah.
That's all you had to say, Ultimo Dragon.
No, he was the first guest they announced. I'm like, I'm there.
Yeah, I'm there.
Him and Sonny Ono are going to be there together.
There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah. That's how you do it.
They just announced Taya is coming, which hopefully means that Johnny will be coming again as well.
Cool.
And PJ Black is going to be there again. And so that, just overall, if you're interested in a local promotion, AML, America's Most Loved Wrestling, they really bring the stars into the to the fans here in North Carolina. And like I said, I mean, people come from all over the country to go to WrestleCade every year because
that's awesome.
Thanksgiving weekend, we were dead, for years because they stopped doing Starrcade.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
WCW ended. They stopped doing Starrcade. Last year they did the Starrcade house show.
Yeah.
And
I heard that wasn't bad, by the way.
That was literally Vince McMahon saying, "I'm going to try to take people away from WrestleCade." Man. Because what they do is they have on the Saturday, WrestleCade Saturday, they have the Fan Fest from morning till late afternoon, and then that night they have the big wrestling event.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and see, last year the main event was Eli Drake versus formerly known as Jack Swagger versus Johnny Mundo.
I watched that. Impact,
yeah. For the Impact title.
Okay.
And the co-main event was a no DQ match between Taya and Evil East, and that was the match of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I remember seeing some. Yeah, I remember seeing some of that. Yeah.
So that they're a great bunch of guys. Definitely want to give them a shout out, and I'm gonna I'll keep updating people with the guest list and things.
Sounds good.
And then like I said, I'll be going. This will be my third one.
Wow.
And
is there a stream available, Zeus, or no?
They did last year. They did stream it, and on what was it? Flow. It was on Flow Combat. It was on one of those fighting. One of those ones you could get it for like $10 or $15 or something like that. And I'm sure they're working with somebody else now, but it's one of those streaming services that you could pick it up for a month for $10, I think, or something like that.
Cool. Sounds good.
But yeah, so we don't know what we're going to do next week, so we'll figure that out this week.
We will figure it out. We will definitely figure it out.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Plasmaker.
Flowers, YYHH, everybody out there listening, the NMM show, and the Way to Real, and the great debut of Melissa. Everybody, peace, love, and lucha, people.
Everyone have a great weekend and a week ahead, and adios.
We'll see you next Saturday. Have a good week, people. I see all you guys on Twitter. Peace.
See you.